Hey everybody, one of the most beautiful things that God has given to us or has endowed us with is emotions. Emotions are very powerful in our lives. We have the emotion of love, the emotion of sorrow, and all kinds of emotion comes through our being. But there are some emotions in our lives that at times, if we're not careful, they might hinder us in terms of our spiritual growth. And that is the emotion of anger. I don't know whether you struggle with anger, but I have a lot of people who struggle with this emotion of anger. They're easily ticked off. They don't often are not able to control or manage their anger. And the Bible does speaks to that emotion. Interestingly, the Bible says that, be angry. In other words, anger in itself is not a sin in itself. But I think what takes anger or makes it sinful is lack of self-control. That is why Ephesians was able to tell us, be angry but do not sin. The implication is simple, is that we can definitely be angry. Some things can cause us to get angry. Some things can cause us to be very displeased about the things that are taking place. But we must be careful that we exercise self-control in our anger. Exercising self-control in the anger is for you to be able to pause, even in that moment of anger, for you to be able to get that inner strength to pause for a minute and ask yourself certain question. Why am I angry? What will be the end product of this anger? Will this anger ultimately achieve the righteousness of God? You might say to me, Pastor Wale, yes, it's easy for you to say that when you're in the heat of the moment, you don't really think like that. But I think it's important for you to program yourself to be able to think in such a way. You can be angry, but be careful that you do not sin. And Paul said, do not give an enemy the foothold. Don't let the sun go down on your wrath. Deal with it and don't give the enemy a foothold. Even when you're angry and things get into you and you got to take time out, make sure that you don't let the sun go down. Don't let a lot of time lapse before you seek to reconcile that anger. And when you seek to reconcile that anger, you're in essence not giving the devil a foothold. Because when you let anger brew within you and you don't really check it, ultimately the devil can use that anger as a source of resentment, as a source of bitterness, and as a source of seeking retaliation. And that in itself is sin before God. So I want you to really think about this. I want you to say to yourself, you know what? Am I a hungry person? If I'm a hungry person, I need to ask the grace of God for self-control so that I can control myself and don't let my anger become sinful. I'll see you tomorrow.